Welcome to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram podcast. Today we are covering the final part of our series on acquiring U.S. citizenship. We hope you've been enjoying this series. Okay, let's talk about U.S. immigration. We should point out that attorney Chris M. Ingram has provided all of the source material we will be discussing in today's podcast. So here we are wrapping up this series on U.S. citizenship, all based on the attorney's material. It's been quite informative covering the path.
Definitely.
We've already looked at those, key requirements the attorney laid out. Things like not staying outside the U.S. for more than 6 months at a time during that qualifying period.
Right. That's a big one.
And spending at least half the required time physically in the U.S. Plus, the material always stressed checking for any other sort of hidden bars to citizenship.
Absolutely. Those basics are crucial, just as the attorney outlined.
So for this last deep dive, we really want to focus on the why. Why go for citizenship if you already hold a green card? We're digging into the benefits the attorney highlighted.
Yeah, that's the core question the attorney raises, isn't it? You've got the green card, seems stable enough, so why take that extra step? And while the material gives some pretty compelling answers.
Okay, let's get into it. One of the first things the attorney brings up is family, sponsoring family members. And there's a pretty significant difference based on your status.
That's right. The attorney's material points specifically to fiancé. If you're a green card holder, you actually have to marry first, then you can sponsor your spouse.
Okay.
And even then, the attorney suggests that wait for the spouse's green card could be up to 2 years.
2 years separated potentially. But according to the attorney, if you're a U.S. citizen, it's different.
Very different. As a U.S. citizen, you can sponsor your fiancé before marriage. So they can come to the U.S., you get married here, and then adjust their status.
On a timeline.
Much faster. The attorney's material estimates maybe 4 to 6 months. Think about that cutting down maybe 2 years to just a few months. That's huge for families.
Absolutely huge. Okay, what about other family members? Parents, siblings?
Well, here's another key distinction from the attorney. Green card holders. They generally can't sponsor parents or siblings for permanent residency at all.
Really? So that door is just closed if you only have a green card?
Pretty much, based on the attorney's information. But if you become a U.S. citizen, you can sponsor your parents. And the wait time is usually less than a year.
Less than a year for parents. That's quite reasonable. What about siblings?
Citizens can sponsor siblings too, but the attorney's material is very clear here. The wait is long. Really long. We're talking nearly a decade, according to the estimate.
Wow, a decade. That's
a
lifetime almost.
Mm-hmm.
Does the attorney offer any sort of interim solutions or thoughts on that long wait for siblings?
Yes, the material does mention that while that green card petition is pending, which takes years, siblings might be able to visit or even work temporarily using other non-immigrant visas. Not a path to a green card, but allows contact.
Mm-hmm.
And the attorney also expresses hope, really, for future immigration reform, mentioning that the annual quotas, the number limits, haven't gone up in ages, which causes these huge backlogs, especially for siblings.
Right, that makes sense. So family sponsorship, definitely a major plus for citizens. But the attorney's material then shifts gears, right, to something maybe even more fundamental.
It does. It moves towards protection,
Yeah.
specifically protection from deportation.
Okay.
It's a really important point the attorney makes.
Protection from deportation. Now, most people think, I followed the law, I have my green card, I'm fine. But the attorney suggests it's not always that simple.
Exactly. The material acknowledges most people are law-abiding, of course. But, life happens. Unexpected things can go wrong. And for a green card holder, some situations could suddenly put their status at risk.
Okay, like what kind of unexpected things does the attorney warn about?
Well, the attorney gives some pretty stark examples, like getting a DUI, especially if it involves an accident with serious injuries. Depending on the details, first time or not, that could potentially lead to deportation proceedings for a green card holder.
That's serious. What else?
Even things that might seem less severe initially, like, say, texting while driving or running a red light. If that action, unfortunately, causes harm to someone else, it can lead to serious criminal charges.
And those charges could impact immigration status.
Absolutely. Those criminal consequences could put a green card holder's ability to stay in the U.S. in jeopardy, according to the attorney.
And the attorney stresses this risk isn't just personal, it affects the whole family, especially kids.
Right. Kids sometimes make mistakes.
Yeah.
The attorney uses examples like maybe a teenager getting a fake ID or experimenting with drugs, even petty theft. Things that might seem like youthful errors could, in the worst case, lead to a child being deported. And the attorney makes the crucial point. If your child, your dependent, is deported, the whole family might feel they have no choice but to leave too.
That's a devastating possibility stemming from something unexpected. And the attorney even mentioned you could lose status without committing a crime.
Yeah, that's another angle. Simply staying outside the U.S. for too long, say over a year, without getting the right permissions beforehand, like a re-entry permit, that could be seen as abandoning your residence, potentially leading to loss of the green card.
Okay, so there are quite a few potential vulnerabilities the attorney points out for green card holders. How does becoming a U.S. citizen change this picture fundamentally?
It changes completely. The attorney's material is unequivocal on this. U.S. citizens cannot be deported, period.
Cannot be deported.
Whatever legal trouble they might get into, whatever punishment the U.S. justice system imposes, once they've served their time, the attorney states they can resume their life in the U.S. just like any other citizen. That threat of removal is gone.
Wow. That protection aspect is profound. It really explains why the attorney uses that analogy, the one about insurance.
Yeah, the home insurance analogy. It's quite powerful. The attorney compares applying for citizenship, once you're eligible, to paying your home insurance premium.
Explain that a bit more. How is becoming a citizen like home insurance, according to the attorney?
Well, the attorney points out that house fires, major floods, these are rare events, right? The attorney even notes very few clients have actually experienced one or know someone who has.
True.
Yet people willingly pay, hundreds or thousands each year for insurance just in case that very rare but potentially devastating event happens.
Okay, I see the parallel. So citizenship is like insuring against those rare but devastating immigration problems.
Precisely. The attorney's material says applying for citizenship when you qualify is just like that. It's the right thing to do. It protects you. And the material powerfully concludes that by becoming a citizen, you are, quote, ensuring your family completely from the threat of deportation.
Ensuring your family completely. That really frames it differently. Not just an upgrade, but essential protection. Now, there's often one big question people have, which the attorney also addresses. Do I have to give up my original citizenship?
Yes, the dual citizenship question. It's a common concern, but the attorney's material clarifies that for most countries, actually the vast majority, the U.S. allows dual citizenship. You don't have to choose.
So you can be a citizen of both the U.S. and your home country in most cases.
Generally, yes. The attorney does note there are a few exceptions, specific countries that might not permit it, and offers to check for anyone unsure about their particular situation.
That's good to know. Well, this exploration of the benefits and the really crucial protections based on the attorney's material wraps up our series on U.S. citizenship.
It really brings together the why after discussing the how in previous parts. It highlights the value proposition as seen by the attorney.
So maybe a final thought for you listening, something to consider based on everything we've discussed from the attorney's perspective.
Given all these potential risks, the attorney highlights, the tricky immigration rules like being out of the country too long, or those totally unforeseen events like accidents, or even a child making a serious mistake. Maybe the most compelling reason to apply isn't just seeing citizenship as an upgrade.
What's the alternative view?
Perhaps viewing it as essential, proactive family insurance. Is that the most persuasive argument for eligible green card holders to take that step? Something to think about.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We hope you gained a lot from this discussion. Please leave us a comment if you can. We also want to thank attorney Chris Ingram for researching and preparing this material for us to present. Additionally, you can visit our website at www.breakthroughusa.com. See you next time on Let's Talk U.S. Immigration. Bye for now.